Hi, welcome to Steaming It Up Anywhere. I'm Kristen from NIU STEAM, and we are talking to Dara Capel from Bensonville. Ben, Let me try that again. We are talking to Dara Capel from Bensonville. It's a mouthful. Hey, Dara.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
So, what do you do in Bensonville?
I am an instructional technology specialist. I'm lucky enough to work with all grades K through 5, integrating technology into the curriculum and also adding STEM into the curriculum, which I love. And I do digital citizenship, and I kind of do lots of different things around the school, as much as I can help out.
Great. So, I know we've gotten to know each other a little bit through STEM Read Institute, our STEM Read field trips. And so you've been doing a lot of work on connecting STEM to books. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the things you've done making that connection?
Sure. So, well, you inspired me, you and your staff at NIU. And yes, I have been following the field trips that NIU has done with STEM Read and seen you present at conferences as well. And so I was like, I have to bring this to the students at Bensonville because it's such an engaging opportunity for them in the hands-on learning experience. So I was lucky enough this year to work with third and fourth grade, but with third grade, we did the Wild Robot because that was one of the field trips that NIU offers, which is amazing. And our third grade, they study animal adaptations. That's one of their units. And as a whole grade level across the district, and we're a small district, so it's just 2 schools, but they read the Wild Robot as their read aloud. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. The kids are gonna love it. So what I did is I took your field trip, excuse me, and then adapted it to the needs of the students at Bensonville. So some of the things I did was make sure that the activities were in both English and Spanish. The videos, which were a huge part of engaging the students in the learning experience, I also was able to add Spanish captions to it so that it was accessible to all students, which was great. And the activity the kids loved the most probably was the engineering design challenge of building the shelter. And I'm lucky enough to live out here in St. Charles in the very woodsy area. So my husband and I collected lots of sticks and we made sure that they actually were using real material because I think that also makes it a little more authentic to the students. And so they really loved the STEM engineering challenge, but they learned a lot from all the activities that you provided, that your staff provides, which is great. What we did is we have 6 sections of third grade in each schools. So that's really a large amount of students to do at once. So what we did is we broke apart the field trip into 2 half-day events where we worked with 3 sections of the grade at a time. We felt that was more manageable to handle in the space that we have because we don't have a big auditorium or anything like that. So your staff as well, you and your staff gave some great ideas during your summer conferences about how, teachers and schools could adapt to make it work, whether you do it in different classrooms or a larger setting. And so tried a couple of different things. This is my second year implementing one of your field trips. Wild Robot, this was the first year. So we broke it up into 2 different days, 2 half days, which worked really well. And then we also modified some of the activities to make sure that all levels of learners were able to participate. So, our ESL population, our special education population, and bilingual. So it was a great experience.
So did the students read the Wild Robot and then do the challenges, or did they do the challenges while they were reading? How did the reading part fit in with the different STEM activities?
So great question, because we were asked, or I was asked, how should we run this in-house field trip. And so we decided as a grade level and myself that we would do it after they read the book as a culminating activity. So they had a lot of background knowledge about animal adaptations to begin with. Because of that, they had also gotten through most of their unit on animal adaptations. And then what's so great about the field trip is it uses the Wild Robot book in so many of the activities. So the kids are reading along different parts of the book in case they need that reminder of something that happened, but it also gave them clues to be able to answer some of the questions for the activities, which I thought was great. We had the books both in Spanish and English copies, which also was really helpful and made it more accessible to everyone. Yeah, the kids loved it. It was one of their favorite activities in the whole school year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you think, because you said you do animal adaptations and some of these science concepts already, did the students interact with the material differently, having that connection to fiction? How did that adding the book in kind of impact their learning?
It's a great question. I think it made it stronger to have read the book ahead of time. Now we do, in fourth grade, we do the I Survived field trip that's based off of the I Survived series by Lauren Tarshis. And the kids, not all the kids have read, all the books in the series. So they still are just as engaged if they read, if they've read some of the books, or some of the kids actually haven't read any of the books. What I feel it does a lot of times, it actually motivates the kids after the field trip to want to check those books out. And we're always looking for ways to motivate students to find something that they really enjoy reading and stick with it. Because at the elementary level, sometimes there's a lot of abandoning books. But again, knowing that, oh my gosh, I remember we did something with that, in school, and I want to read more about it, or I want to read the next book in the series. So I think you can do it either way and have the kids, get just as much out of the learning experience either way.
So what advice would you give to other teachers who want to either start connecting fiction to STEM content, or kind of exploring that connection? How could they get started? What could they do, and what can they expect?
So I think it's great to look into the curriculum, see where there's a connection between literature and what the students are already learning about, because then it really does make it more meaningful to them, and there's buy-in. I would also think about the teachers that you work with and decide, which grade level would be willing to try something new out like this that they've never experienced before. Also, what was really nice that you let me do is, I think it's when we can go back to how life was before COVID, to go see you and your team do one of these field trips in person, because it really helped me understand the concept better and to see you run it, because that's a little scary too for teachers to just say, oh yeah, we can do that. You make it look easy, but it is not easy, and it's a lot of work. So I would recommend teachers, when they can, go see some of the field trips that you do, and talk to the students. You let me, I talk to the students a little bit, and you can really see their thinking process and the activities that they really connected to the most. And maybe you start even getting ideas in your head of, oh, I can do that, but maybe I could even change it because my students need this. Mm-hmm. Also, what I did is, and what I recommend is, ask for feedback from the teachers and the kids, because kids, are also very honest. But
they have opinions.
And yes, they have strong opinions. And what we did all the time is, anytime we did any type of event like this, we took that feedback and made changes going forward to make it better. And again, I've only done Wild Robot. Well, we did it really 4 times, because I did it at 2 different schools. So actually, every time I finished an event, before I ran the next event, we went in and made some changes if we needed to. So that's a couple of things I would do. I mean, just, try to find a book that connects to the curriculum already, and work with, find a grade level that is willing to try new things with you at any point. So that's a couple of things I would recommend.
Yeah, and I think finding a book that the kids enjoy reading too. I know the STEM Read program really does look at finding, they start with a good book.
Yeah.
It's about a story that sucks the kids in, and then designing from there with those connections to curriculum. So book choice has a lot to do with it too.
It does. And like I did smaller things on a smaller level that were STEM related. So third grade, also funny enough, reads the book, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. And so I created an engineering activity and an art activity that would go along with that book. And so we were able to rent these snap circuits from DuPage ROE. They're really a great connection for us, and they let you rent their supplies. But the kids were able to build a windmill just like the boy in the book. And again, they had already read the book, and so they had all the background knowledge they needed. They were so excited to do that. And then also they created a poster as well of their finished product, which is great. So sometimes it's even just finding, picture books or smaller books in the curriculum to start with than possibly an actual, full novel, because it takes longer.
Well, this is great. It's always fun to work with you and hear how you're taking some of these things and bring them into the classroom and expanding. And so it's always a lot of fun, but thank you for sharing your experiences with us. And yeah, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.